So this force is directly proportional to square of the velocity and inversely proportional to the radius. If we are talking about linear velocity. If we are talking about angular velocity, directly proportional to square of angular velocity as well as directly proportional to radius. So if omega is same, constant, then directly proportional to radius. But if V you are keeping same, then inversely proportional to radius. If different particles are moving, suppose when we'll discuss rotational motion like this, if it is rotating, then this particle and this particle, different particles are moving in different circle. So in that case, R will be different. But omega will be same as the all particle will complete rotation inside the wave. Okay, so this is this much. Now if we have done this, omega is 2 pi n or 2 pi by t. So we can find force in terms of this also. In place of omega, if you are writing 2 pi n, then value will be different. So how much will come? 4 pi square n square m r, or it may be 4 pi square t square m r. Okay. So this object is experiencing this much force. When the object is moving in circular motion, this is experiencing this much force. But then also it is not moving towards center. How is it possible? The force is applied, net force is not zero. Its normal reaction and weight is balanced. If it is rotating on in the circle means horizontal surface. So normal reaction and weight is balanced by each other. Now who is going to balance this centripetal force? So here we say the concept of this centrifugal force comes. And that we say it is an imaginary force. So this is centrifugal force. As centripetal force is acting on this object, but then also it is not moving towards the center. That means some other force is acting on that object. And that force we name centrifugal force. So centrifugal force is an imaginary force. Or pseudo force or fictitious force, whatever you name it be. Which is equal to equal and opposite, you can say. Equal and opposite to centripetal force. So this centrifugal force is, we are assuming, this is imaginary force. We are assuming another force is also acting on this object which balances centripetal force. Or in order to balance this centrifugal force, once the object starts acting, a centrifugal force starts acting on it. In order to balance this centrifugal force, otherwise what will be? If we are not giving necessary centripetal force, it is not moving towards center. It is moving outward. It is going out. Suppose you are tying a stone in the string and keep on revolving. You increase the speed. At certain speed, the string breaks. Will stone moving towards you? It will not move. It will move away from you. That is, once centripetal force becomes zero, particle is not moving this side, it is moving outward. That means that concept is coming here, that imaginary force or the pseudo force of this force we call centrifugal force. So centrifugal force is equal and opposite to centripetal force. So this F is minus of Fr. Minus sign means direction is opposite, not the magnitude is opposite. So direction of the centrifugal force is opposite to centripetal force. Okay, so this much is in uniform circular motion. Now some idea we will take about non-uniform circular motion. So this centrifugal force will always be equal to centripetal force till object is moving in circular path. If centripetal force is not able to balance centrifugal force, it will not be able to maintain this circular path. It will change. It will fly off along the tangent, and then depending on where from it is going, suppose it breaks from here, it may follow the projectile path as we have discussed in previous chapter. Sometimes will be asked, suppose when the string is here, it breaks, then where it will hit? If it is moving in vertical circle, when it is at highest point, string breaks. Then in that case, you will have to apply the concept of projectile motion. Okay, now non-uniform circular motion. In case of non-uniform circular motion, what will be? So this initial velocity of particle is u. Naturally, this final velocity will be v, and this v will not be equal to magnitude of u. Or if here it is omega naught, and here is omega angular speed, this omega will not be equal to omega naught. Maybe if you are considering vector. So in this case, velocity of particle will keep on changing, either increasing or decreasing. Suppose you start the switch on the fan. What happens? The speed of angular speed of the fan keep on increasing till it reaches the constant value. When you switch off the fan, its speed keep on decreasing. It suddenly doesn't come to the position of rest. When you switch off, suddenly doesn't come to the position of rest, or suddenly doesn't come to the maximum speed. So during that motion or during that period, its motion is non-uniform. If you consider any particle of the fan, suppose a dot is present on the blade, and if we consider the motion of that dot or that point, then it is in non-uniform circular motion when we switch on the fan or when we switch off the fan. So in that case, velocity keep on changing. Change may be both, either increase or decrease. So velocity, linear and angular velocity keep on changing. is variable. So if velocity is varying along the tangent, that means there must be an acceleration along the tangent. As velocity along the tangent is varying, is non-uniform or is changing, the particle must experience an acceleration along tangent. Or must have an acceleration. Must have an acceleration along tangent. So it will have acceleration along tangent also. So what will be the tangential acceleration? So this AT will be the rate of change of dV by dt, or this magnitude only we can say. Because there also it was changing due to direction. Here, the magnitude, how much it is changing. The rate of change of speed we can see. So we'll differentiate velocity, magnitude of the velocity. Suppose velocity is given 3t square minus 5t. Then we will differentiate it to get tangential acceleration. Now this will be d by dt of, in place of v we can write omega r. R is constant. So r d omega over dt. Rate of change of angular velocity. Actually, angular velocity will also change. When v changes, v is always equal to omega r. At any instant, if you are calculating instantaneous linear velocity, that is always equal to omega r. Here, this u will be equal to how much? Omega naught r. Here, v will be how much? Omega r. At t equal to 0, suppose the velocity is omega naught. At t equal to delta t or t equal to t, velocity is omega. So omega, angular velocity will also keep on changing. So this term, d omega by dt, we call angular acceleration. Where alpha is known as angular acceleration. So this alpha, which is d omega by dt, we can write d by dt of omega is what? D theta by dt. So it can be d2 theta over dt square also. And if you are given theta and you are asked alpha, then you will have to differentiate twice. So what does it mean here? The particle will have two acceleration. Sorry. So in non-uniform circular motion, particle will have two acceleration. One will be along the tangent and other will be along the radius. So here particle will have acceleration at in this direction, whereas AR is sorry. So in non-uniform circular motion, particle will have two accelerations. One along tangent. This we call tangential acceleration. And other along radius. Known as radial or centripetal. So these two accelerations are perpendicular to each other. So this AR is this side, AT is this side. So they are perpendicular to each other. So if we want to know the resultant, what will be? The net acceleration of particle is A will be the resultant of these two. This symbol we say AT and this symbol we say AR. So resultant of these two vectors. Now what will be the magnitude? So the magnitude of this A will be how much? AR square plus AT square under B. This AR will be how much? AR will be V square over R or omega square R, whatever value is given. So this AR will keep on changing. When V changes, AR is also changing. Radial acceleration will keep on changing. In case of non-uniform circular motion, AR will not be constant. It will keep on changing with V. AT, this AT is of dV by dt. How the velocity magnitude is changing. So we will find AR by this formula at any instant, because this AR will keep on changing. When you are revolving the stone, you can feel the force applied by your finger on the string will keep on changing if the speed of the stone keep on increasing or decreasing. So naturally, acceleration changes, so force will also change. So if this is the, so what will be the net force? Mass into acceleration. So we'll find the acceleration and then we'll find the net force. The direction of this acceleration, sometimes it is asked. Then we are knowing how to find the, in case of vector, the two forces, two acceleration are there, they are perpendicular to each other. Suppose at any instant you are saying if this is the direction of AR, this is the direction of AT, then what will be? We will draw whatever the magnitude may be, because this is only magnitude. We will draw a parallelogram, and this is the direction of A. If you are asked the angle, suppose it makes an angle alpha or beta, whatever it is asked, then tan beta will be how much? 8 over AR. So same like vector only. After that, same thing. Whatever we have done the vector, in case of vector, you can find cos alpha, cos beta also. Cos beta will be what? AR over A. Now, as the velocity is variable here, so there are two cases. One may be the acceleration is constant, and generally, if in case of non-uniform circular motion, that will be especially in the second part, rotational motion always, non-uniform circular motion will be there. So in case of non-uniform circular motion, if acceleration is constant, we can have equation of motion same as linear motion. So if particle is moving with constant tangential or constant angular acceleration, then equation of motion. So if tangential acceleration is constant, we can apply V equal to U plus AT. Particle is moving along the tangent. So the linear motion one, you can apply. So if we want in terms of angular one, what can be? So this V is, suppose this V equal to U plus AT. In place of this, what can we write? V is omega r. U is omega naught r. Here A means tangential acceleration. And what was the relation? Alpha r into T. So this r is cancelled. So what is the equation? So this omega is omega naught plus alpha T. That is our first equation. This equation which we have done in the linear motion, in angular motion it will come like this. Similarly, you can write the other equation also. S is U plus V by 2 into T. From this one we can say S means what? The linear distance. So R into theta. So R will be cancelled. That is theta will be equal to omega naught plus omega by 2 into t. Similar equation is coming. Okay, time was also. Okay, so we'll write another one. So s is this much. Now suppose s equal to ut plus half at square. This we can write. Theta will be omega naught t plus half alpha t square. Same way we can write v square equal to u square plus 2as. This we can write omega square will be omega naught square plus twice alpha theta. Distance traveled in the next second. Now, if particle is giving more than one rotation, then theta can be, if it is giving one rotation, theta is 2 pi. If it is given n rotation, then it is 2 pi n. Sometimes it will be, theta will not be given directly. It completes 5 rotation. After that, velocity changes from 5 radian per second to 100 radian per second after giving 5 rotation. Then theta you will find by this one, 2 pi n. So theta will come then 10 pi. Then whatever is asked, we can use this equation of motion in case of non-uniform circular motion. Especially when we will discuss module 2, second part of this motion, that is rotational motion, frequently we will use this relation. Okay, so we will leave up to here.